Are protesting outside the River State House of Assembly following the killing of Alafuro Peter Side by a policeman. The IYC protesters are demanding justice over his death. Now, they carried placards with inscriptions like, "Clearly, the River CP lacks the capacity to manage crisis in the state. End police brutality," among others. Now, the story is that the late Alafuro Peter Side was shot to death by a policeman before his wife and his 3 children, close to a popular bar along Stadium Road in Elekahia, Port Harcourt. Now, the first time we tried to have this conversation about justice, right? And we had to ask some people in Port Harcourt, just to get a feel of what people think of when they hear the word justice. When a crime of this magnitude has been committed, when something this painful happens to someone, what do people generally look forward to when they say justice has to be served? And so last week, some of the respondents who spoke to our correspondent said they were actually not pleased with the killing of this man. And then they told our correspondent that the police officers who were involved, whether it's 1 or 2, they're not worthy to be part of the force, as they tend to spoil the good works of other police officers. Now, they called on the police and the justice system to expedite action on the matter to serve as a deterrent to the incidents of the irresponsible shooting of innocent citizens by law enforcement agencies, or agents rather. And they said justice delayed is justice denied. I just want us to hear from them, and then we'll go a bit back to what the widow of this man actually had to say, when she narrated the incident. Of course, our conversation today, or our focus, is actually on what exactly is justice when a victim is dead. But first of all, let's hear what some Port Harcourt residents think about justice in this matter.
It's not fair for the way the policeman acted. Let the policeman that thought the man receive his own penalty. Government authority to then to act and to stop police to harass human beings, members that doesn't do anything.
Since they have arrested the policeman, they should kill him so that other people will take point of oration. They are not security to kill innocent people. They are security to secure the Nigerian. The robbers has left and then went and killed the family man. What do they want the woman and her children to do? The son of that man, by seeing a policeman with his 2 naked eyes, to kill his father.
This police should tell person. This one not be the first one who hear say police kill person. Some of them that are doing all those things, they are not legal to them.
Sometimes it's just like when I heard the woman who said, "Oh, kill." It was more like an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. If you've taken someone's life, your life should also be taken, and all whatnot. But of course, if any matter is subjected to the courts, you don't expect that they get in there and tomorrow the judge rules and everybody will go home happy. And it also reminds me of the story of a man whose wife and 11-month-old baby back then, another lady who was pregnant for, it said, sometimes I just wonder, are we seeking justice or revenge? Yeah, really. When people say we want justice to be done in a particular matter, are they really seeking justice? What is justice after all? To say you're seeking justice for your loved one and also against the person who caused their death. What exactly is justice? All right, so when we're talking about justice, a lot of articles have been written on this. The Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy says the idea of justice occupies center stage both in ethics and in legal and political philosophy. And he says we apply it to individual actions, to laws, and to public policies. And we think in each case that if they are unjust, this is a strong, maybe even conclusive reason to reject them. Justice. So they went ahead to, describe about 4 cardinal virtues, that they say more like describes justice, when you're talking about justice. All right? They had like 4 different areas. But apart from what that particular one, another thing they actually mentioned in that article about justice is that they said we might debate which of the realms of practical philosophy has first claim on justice. Is it first and foremost a property of the law, for example, and only derivatively a property of individuals and other institutions? But it is probably more enlightening to accept that the idea has over time sunk deep in each of these domains, and try to make sense of such a wide-ranging concept by identifying elements that are present whenever justice is invoked, but also examining the different forms it takes in various practical contexts. So the article actually is more like providing some kind of map, of the ways in which justice has been understood by philosophers past and present. But for you as a person in this world of today, when you say justice, especially in this particular case that we are describing, of course, to seek justice against someone who has caused the death of your loved one, I mean, you have to go through the law. All right, definitely you have to, because that's the way to do it. That's the legal way to get justice. But I come back to my question. What exactly is justice? So the policeman is dismissed, sentenced to whatever years imprisonment. Okay. So what happens? Is that enough to make someone feel, yes, at least it shows that the government, the system cares, that it matters to the system that a life was taken in such an inappropriate manner. So it matters to our system that people's lives should not be taken for granted. So what exactly is justice? I even had to write it on Twitter some time ago that sometimes when people are calling for justice, they're just looking for revenge. But then is it bad to seek revenge? But then we won't look away from the fact that there is that aspect of the human heart where you just want the person who has caused you pain to feel some level of pain at least. I mean, you've done something to me. I would like to see you feel it small. Let everybody know. If this policeman comes out today to apologize, of course, the police is yet to have not released the information about the police officer involved and the other ones that perhaps were working with him that night when the incident happened. So we don't even know who they are, right? So even if they come out today and then there's a video where he's apologizing and he says, in fact, I deserve to die for what I've done. And probably he's sentenced to death. Is that justice? What is justice when a victim is dead? So let me get your take though. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0002, and 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0007. I'm sure someone will be wondering, why is she sounding like it's some kind of philosophical conversation right now? But sometimes we just need to be sure that we can define what we want. Justice. What exactly is justice? In your own opinion, talk to me. In a case like this one, what is justice? Send those WhatsApp messages to 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. And then we're live on Facebook, so drop a message on Facebook as well. And that's Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. On Twitter or X, you can tweet at Nigeria Info PH. We have Solomon from Oyibo. Hello, Solomon.
Okay.
Go ahead, Solomon. I can hear you.
Okay. You're talking about justice. right?
Yes, please.
Okay, I believe justice in every form is vengeful.
Hmm.
Yes, I believe in every form. Because if there is not that retaliating aspect, then it's not justice.
Really?
I don't know if I'm clear. I don't know if I'm clearing you on this.
Yeah. I understand
Because-
what you're saying.
Because even from the inception of time, there is such a thing as, will I say, cause and effect. You do something, you get this reply, you get this response. And so that's what justice actually is. And if the person does not get the other part of what he did, like this thing he did, if he doesn't get the effect of what he did, as let's say, a particular state, a particular institution has put this as a particular, what will I call it? Let me say, okay, this offense, this is the penalty exactly. If that penalty now is not received by the offender, then there is no justice. So that's it, offense and penalty. So that's what justice is. When there's an offense, there ought to be penalty, basically. And so if a particular person maybe steals a product or steals something, the penalty that is let's say, I don't know the word to use, but that this particular institution has put for that particular offense, let's say 1 year imprisonment. If it has not been given, then there's no justice. So justice basically is also maybe in a way what the state or the institution has said to. It's there. I don't know how to explain
All
it.
right. You have explained. Thank you very much, Solomon. Where are you calling from?
Thank you. To me, justice is what has been defined by our society. That body who unlawfully life of another person should also die. So that is to me justice. And that is done in order to serve a deterrent to others, not to take the life of other person. So that we can live in a sane society.
Okay.
Governed by laws. And before I hang up, let me join other voices to prevail on the River State Police Command to parade this person, this policeman, this killer policeman publicly, so that River people can see it.
All right. Thank you very much for calling, McDonough. All right. So he's more like also highlighting a particular aspect I mentioned earlier, where I was asking if justice is such that would give people that notion that the system cares about them. The system cares that people are not maltreated, mistreated, whatever treated that you would like to add to that one. So perhaps that's what justice is. So in this matter, in a case like this, right, because I'm looking at justice for the dead. The man is dead. His family is devastated. The widow is more like, I don't even know where to start from. And this happened right in front of the kids. I remember I was having a conversation with some persons and they were talking about how those children and the widow should need... Jen from Elime, I'm so sorry, I can't take your call. I have just less than 1 minute before commercials, all right? So let me just finish my line of thought and then we'll go on that break and come back and continue, all right? So the person was talking about how they would need some form of therapy to help them because having to witness that level of horror. You know, on Saturday I had a conversation here and I was talking about how I don't like watching horror movies. So that's a movie. It's not even actuality. So let alone when it is something that happens in real life and then it's something that happened to someone you loved, someone you were close to. There's a lot of things have gone wrong psychologically and they need some form of therapy. All right. But in this matter now, what would justice be? The man is dead. And what would justice serve? I'll be right back.
As a mom preparing for a big family party,
92.3 Nigeria Info, the only place where talk is not cheap.
And now, hard facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Okay, welcome back now. It's 4:29 on the clock. So remember when I started off, I read out certain aspects of the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, what they wrote, or the article they put together on justice, the idea of justice, all right? And they mentioned about 4 core features that distinguish justice from other moral and political ideas. I didn't really, mention those, what are they called now? Those concepts or those areas, all right? So you could actually know what they were looking at. So they looked at justice from different angles, and I liked what they did there. If you could actually find the article yourself, you can read it. Yeah, you would enjoy it. So they looked at justice from different angles: justice and individual claims, justice, charity and enforceable obligation, justice and impartiality, justice and agency. And then on the part where they were talking about justice, charity and enforceable obligation, they mentioned something about how we want justice. People demand for justice, but you beg for charity. You don't demand for charity to be done to you. You beg for it. You ask for it. Same as, asking for even forgiveness. But when justice is what is being sought, you demand for it. It's more like it's my portion. It is what is due me. So give it to me. A wrong has been done. I deserve justice, and I demand that justice be done in this matter. Then why do we demand justice then? Yeah, because we have laws, right, that govern us. And like one of the callers rightly said, if for every crime you commit, there is a penalty that is associated with it, justice then means that if you've done this, then you should be able to pay that penalty. Let's make sure that you get what you deserve. I get what I deserve, you get what you deserve. So justice. What is justice? In your opinion, though, what do you think justice is? Especially when a victim is dead. Although in this particular case that we are looking at, the case of Alafuro Peterside, who was shot dead by a police officer in front of his family, right in their very presence. He's not just the only victim. His wife and kids are also victims in this regard. So he's dead. His widow now is alive. The children are alive. So they're the ones who are going to have to seek justice. So what should justice be in a situation like this? And what is justice expected to serve in this kind of situation? That's what I want to hear from you, though. Let's talk. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0002. Hi, Jen from LMA. You called back. Please go ahead.
Hello?
Good evening, Jen.
Good evening. Jen.
I'm listening.
To me, justice is fairness and equitable treatment to every individual. But that, based on what happened with the police, I always say this, and I believe that sometimes we Nigerians, we should be able to tell the police what we want. But then it may surprise you to know that police are the law enforcement officers. And before you enforce this law, you should be able to know the law before you can be able to enforce it. The police authority, and even not only police, but all the security agencies, they are curriculum is so designed to a point that if you go to school to any level, nobody will promote you based on your educational qualifications, nobody will grade you. So that has made all of them not even care about school, doesn't even care about improving themselves, doesn't even care about anything. Now they don't have the knowledge about the law they are enforcing. Let me give you an instance. I was driving from Calabar down to Port Harcourt. I met a police officer at Ogoni Road. He told me, the policeman stopped me. After he checked my vehicle paper, checked everything well, okay. He now said that I should pay something. I said, me what? He said, I don't have touch. I said, what if I don't have touch? I should give you money. He now told me that they are paying ROT commander in River State here 5,000 naira every day. Also, I said, if you pay them, should I be the one to give you money to pay? So I find that this policeman settled to shoot if I dare him. So I believe the police should be able to design their curriculum such a way that their personnel should be promoted based on their educational qualification.
All right. Thank you very much for calling, Jen. Blessed from Rumo Kurushi. Are you still there?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Please go ahead.
Justice, regarding what is justice, in brothers' end, we got a lot to talk about. I have one question. What's the penalty for death, ma'am?
Oh, you're asking me the penalty for death?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, there is no particular penalty. It depends on what a particular state decides. For some, it's life imprisonment. For some others, it's the death sentence.
In the case that this man was shot, right in the presence of his family, what would the penalty be?
Well, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge, so I wouldn't know.
And what should be done. That's where justice can be served. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So for Blessed, if there's a particular penalty that a defaulter should serve, that is justice. Let him serve that penalty. All right, thank you. Hi, Clinton from Bori.
Yeah, Constance. Good evening.
Good evening. Go on.
I wonder what the family of the deceased will be passing through now. Because the way the man was killed, right in the front of his own family, and what form of justice are they going to get? Because any form of justice they get cannot compare, cannot measure up to the life that was lost. It cannot bring back the life that was lost. So I don't think, even though they said this man should go to face the capital punishment, I don't think it still measures up to the lost husband and father. So I think things should be done rightly in this country. This our force security men should undergo proper trainings. Some of them are not well trained. They don't have this psychological problem. And when you go on the road and a little provocation now, they point the gun at you. It's really bad.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Hello, Clement from NTA Road. Good evening.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good evening to you. Go on, please.
Okay, so for me, I think what the rule book said is just for me. And there are cases where if you have or you know somebody and know somebody, or you know who can improve the way of the justice, then for this set of people, justice could be well served. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
I'm trying to.
Hello?
I'm listening. I'm trying to understand what you mean.
Oh, okay. For instance, let's say, let's use maybe the son of a carpenter that was killed, and maybe the son of a governor that was killed. I'm very sure if the person that is taught that killed before the carpenter and the same governor, it's not going to be the same justice, even if the rule book said this is what the justice should be. I am very sure that justice for the big man's son will not be justice for the carpenter's son. for the same crime in different states. So that is just what I know. But however, what the rule book has said for me is justice, well served. That's what I see about justice.
Thank you, Clement. Hi, Wisdom from Buguma. Good evening.
Yeah, good day.
You're welcome. Go on.
Yeah, I think you made a very good point that impression concerning justice in this matter. The lady who lost her husband, that's the widow now, and her children, there's no amount of punishment they will give to that police officer that will pacify them or fill in what they have lost. You know, what it takes to lose a beloved father. However, I want to say this concerning what society is looking at, like the IYC people that protested. I think why society is insisting on justice in a extrajudicial killing. This is likely to be an extrajudicial killing. Let a commensurate punishment. Nothing will happen. So that why law was put in place to checkmate man.
All right. Thank you very much. Hansen from Oyibo. Hello, Hansen.
Yes. Good evening, ma.
Good evening. Oh, my goodness. I was supposed to answer Susie. All right, Hansen, please go on.
Okay. Now, there's one thing about demanding justice that in Nigeria is very scary.
What is scary about it?
When I talked about justice at first, I was talking about it in its generic sense.
Okay.
But now, demanding justice in Nigeria for the masses, especially those who are incapable of demanding it, there are certain resources you need to demand justice, right?
When you say resources, give us examples.
An attorney.
All right.
An attorney, a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Most people can't afford it. But I don't even want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is the after effect of demanding justice.
After effect.
Exactly. Because I've seen cases where some people demand this justice and get their justice. And then they receive the after effect from those people that offended them. I don't know if you're with me.
I'm trying to get what you mean by after effects, really.
Okay, can I give you a simple example?
All right, go on.
There's something that happened about this man that he bought the land, and he had the land he bought from a man. His brother and him had an issue, so he went to court, settled it. They granted him everything, said his land is his own and all that. So the guy came back, nothing. Arrested him. I mean, they did some things, his family and stuff. So he left the land. He demanded justice, right? He got his justice. He got it. The court gave him. But now he's suffering that VUCA thing. He did that. What will I call it? I don't know how to explain it. But because of demanding justice,
so in this particular case, now you're talking about land issues, right? I mean, that particular one it's always messy. It's not the same thing as this one. Someone is dead, and it's not a land issue, right? So we already seen what has happened. So I'm asking, in this particular matter, what is justice?
Okay, now this guy killed the husband of this
What is
woman,
justice?
Right?
That's what I'm asking. Exactly.
Okay. Now, it should be life imprisonment. According, you see, the thing about justice is what they have given on that particular offense.
Okay, the penalty. You're also on that of that school of thought. Hi, Daniel from OG. Good evening.
Good evening.
Please go on.
Okay, on the matter, I think justice was simply said if the shooter is charged to court and prosecuted according to the criminal code and also the service code for the Police Service Commission. Yeah. Then the family should be compensated.
Okay.
The man is the breadwinner. So you just cut off family breadwinner.
So what kind of compensation? What should this compensation be?
Okay, I think number one should be scholarship for the children.
Okay.
Up to university level. The Police Service Commission should handle that. And secondly, there should be a sort of monetary compensation for the family, maybe the wife to start up something. Because as long as our system is police do this crime and go free. But I think since the Ijaw Youth Congress guys are protesting, these guys are strong, and I know they are well organized.
All right, thank you very much. Patrick from Rumodara, good evening.
Okay, good evening. Thank you very much.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, when we talk about justice, it's just like a mathematics. 1 + 1 is equal to 2. It demands that when we are 2 and a particular this has been spelled out, that these 2 is for this number of 4 that are here. So justice demands that in this 2 divided by the 4, everybody is expected to be half. So once you don't get that half, once that 2 is divided by the 4, it means justice is not being served. But come to think of it here in Nigeria, and then the justice. The question is that, do we really practice justice here in Nigeria? Then that is, by the way, when you talk of court, and then the justice, and then the way and manner we, as a citizen, demand justice, we fail to understand the implications of the law or the interpretation of it. When you go to court, a magistrate or a judge will tell you that from the evidence brought before him, this is the judgment. So in the other way around, even when the offense is being committed in our presence, like me and you, we can be an eyewitness of a particular thing that has happened, bearing witness to it. But we did not follow to the court to go and testify. Or maybe the other way around, we went to the court to go and testify. But we forget the other ingredient of the law that give the backup of, in a situation whereby you are being
okay, just summarily, you're talking about insufficient evidence that could also hinder administration of justice.
That could lead to a justice to be served.
All right, thank you very much for calling. Hello, Hector.
Yeah, good afternoon, Constance.
You're welcome aboard. Please go on now.
Thank you. When there is no measurement to manage the effects of men, society will be in a state of nature where life is short and brutish. Now, what is justice? To me, it is what the law says, or the position of the law concerning a crime committed by a citizen against his fellow citizen. Somebody was killed intentionally. What is the position of the law? When there is no law to curtail or to manage men excesses, then society becomes survival of the fittest. So, in other way, justice can also be seen as a revenge, because traditionally, some people also believe that now, what has happened in this man's case, when he failed to administer justice, the soul of the departed will not have peace. Until justice is ministered, that is when the soul of the departed will have peace.
Okay.
So, that should be justice.
All right, thank you very much. Ida from Nkoro. I think that will be the last call. I've got a lot of messages to read.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Ida. Go on.
Yes. I'm calling from Nkoro. Well, I want to please the Youth Council to please give the governor his time. That boy that police killed is from our local government.
Did you say, hold on. Did you just call him a boy?
A man, yes, a man. Sorry for that. Well, the governor knows what to do. They should not tell the governor what to do. They've arrested the police people. Yes, the governor will meet the family and know what to do. Not to say you come and give the governor directive to send the wife abroad, scholarship and all those kind of things. The man is from Bubunkoro local government. He had the governor from. So I want to plead with them. And then with their protest, that the governor will do something.
All right, thank you very much for calling, Ida from Nkoro. Looking at the messages on Facebook, Jerry B.A. is asking, can we stop extortions from suffering road users by the River State Police Command? It's Young Chief says justice is an enforcement put in place by higher authorities, but in this case, it is not justice, it is called revenge. Asubugi Friday says justice means nothing when the victim is dead, but punishment should be applied for the offenders of such crimes. This would help to checkmate future occurrences. The family of the victim should be compensated. And most of the police officers act unprofessionally at times. Thanks. All right. Dave Pavta says justice when a victim is dead, for me, is punishing the offenders to avoid future perpetration of the same crime. Secondly, there is something called closure. When someone who killed your loved one is punished, you somehow find closure. There is also the angle of compensation. Compensation, in some cases, is also justice. All right, thank you very much. So for some people, compensation is justice in this matter. And for some others, what is the penalty for a crime like this? CJ Kubana says he's texting from Osun State. I think the issue of police killing citizens should be a serious debate in the National Assembly. And Nature Wisdom is asking what is happening in this country. Newton Ikira says, Dear Constance, I ask this question each time I hear we want justice. Whenever a crime, especially murder, is committed, nothing can undo a life that has been done in. So when people say justice, I don't know if I'm buy into that. It is justice for me. It is justice to me if the dead can be brought back to life. But since this is practically impossible by humans to do, we can then fall back to the deep meaning of justice, which is justice is a concept of moral rightness based on ethics, rationality, law, natural law, religion, or equity. It is also the act of being just and or fair. So the word for me here is moral rightness. But in the act of being morally right, revenge is exacted. Anyways, no amount of justice can bring back a life. Therefore, the authority must do their best to ensure life is protected at all costs. All right. Anya Naya, I see you. Yeah, I feel the same way you feel, yeah? Okay, well, let's see the messages on WhatsApp. Remember, we have the news at 5 o'clock. And after that, we'll talk about something else. Good evening, Constance. A certain IG said the police should defend themselves. I think the police, especially those on patrol, are misunderstood this IG's statements. And so the present IG should properly explain to the police that they should defend themselves, not to kill civilians. I think it should be in a combatant battle with criminals and not he who seeks for their protection. Kelvin Iyobu Frank in Port Harcourt. Constance Mega, very good afternoon to you. Nice work. This is not a case of justice. Rather, this discussion is a case, in my imagination and estimation, of someone covering evidence by killing an innocent person so that he will not be exposed. That police officer did that for to cover up justice so that justice will not prevail. Your name is Prince, and you're saying that there are two sides to a story. Interesting. Thank you very much, though. But I wonder what you mean by he's trying to cover up. What was he trying to cover up, if that's what you think? All right, Mr. Zion says, when it comes to administration of justice, okay, you have like 2 messages here. Justice is not for the victim per se, rather it is for the benefits of the society. Since one individual was injured by an act of omission or commission, justice is a concept of moral rightness based on ethics and all of that stuff. Justice is given so that another individual, beyond the victim or the society at large, don't suffer such injustice again. Justice is the checker. And you say when it comes to the administration of justice, the dead and surviving victims are no longer the centerpiece. And what takes their place is a concern for a just law-governed condition. A just law-governed condition. And you say justice stands as a remembrance or a reminder that an offense has a punishment. All right, commercials right now. I'll be back.
Na lie. Samo, na